The main stage event at Summer Game Fest has come and gone, and while most people didn't hold back letting Jeff Keighley know exactly how they felt about the event, we thought there were some cool reveals, and games definitely worth keeping an eye on. My name is Codiak, this is Legacy Gaming, and today we're sharing the 10 games we think hit it big at Summer Game Fest. Starting off our list is Tears of Metal, a game that came completely out of left field, and dare I say, is one of the most exciting games on this list. Touted as a medieval hack-and-slash co-op roguelite, you lead a formidable Scottish battalion, yes, you heard that right, into glorious battle. Your objective, carve through hordes of enemies spawned by the Dragonstone meteor in an attempt to reclaim your island. You'll choose from multiple playable heroes, obtain powerful upgrades, and combine them with over 100 different artifacts in order to create unique and deadly builds, all in an attempt to push further into deadlier and deadlier enemies. Between various campaigns, you'll access new shops and recruit soldiers, upgrading them over time, as well as gaining new permanent skills between missions, ultimately leading them into combat. Be careful though, if they fall in battle, they are lost forever, giving you a real permanent investment in the army that you build. The best part, you can play the entire game solo or in co-op with friends, which to me just seems like an absolute blast. The game genuinely looks like Dynasty Warriors meets the roguelike genre, and I can't honestly think of a game that's ever attempted that before. Maybe it's the cel-shaded pop art style look or just the unique setting, but as a person who's never really vibed with games like Dynasty Warriors, this one, for whatever reason, just seems to have its hooks in me already, and I couldn't be more excited for its eventual release date. I am not wild about mech games. There's something about flying around in a giant robot suit that's just never clicked with me. Crazy, I know. But you know who does love a good mech game? Livid. He's played them all, which is why the next game on our Summer Game Fest list, Mecha Break, is what we can only describe as Gundam meets Zone of Enders, and I'm not gonna lie, it even gets me a bit excited. You'll be able to pick from a wide array of mechs, a few examples including Assault, Melee, Sniper, Reconnaissance, and Support, all featuring their own unique playstyles, strengths, and weaknesses. You'll then take these base mechs even further, fully customizing their paint jobs, armor, internal framework, and weaponry, resulting in each mech you come across on the battlefield distinct to that pilot. Players will have access to either an arena-based PvP mode with squads of 3 or 6, or the intense 48-player Battle Royale combat mode, where you'll go up against environmental enemies both big and small as you try to avoid ambushes, evade massive pulse storms, and seize spoils of victory, all while trying to outmaneuver your fellow rivals. Additionally, each pilot features a unique story you'll be able to explore and unpack along the way. But all in all, this mech game looks like one that could have some serious staying power. Power Rangers Rita's Rewind is something I never knew I wanted, let alone needed, but after the reveal trailer at Summer Game Fest, our team was sold. What initially comes across as another nostalgic 90s arcade beat-em-up quickly turns into something else entirely, changing perspectives, adding in unique, fresh gameplay sequences, and showing us a true modern evolution on a retro foundation. Solo or with up to 5 players, you'll be able to experience the origins of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as you go up against Robo Rita. Fan favorite enemies from the show make their appearance here, such as Goldar and Guy, and you'll even be able to pilot all of the original dinosaurs, eventually jumping into the cockpit of the legendary Megazord to take down gigantic bosses. Honestly, that second half of the reveal trailer was so unexpected for this type of game, which really sold us, and we personally can't wait to dive in with some friends sometime this year. Games as an art form are never massively popular. They're critically acclaimed, that's for sure, but rarely do you see millions of players concurrently picking up and playing something cerebral. That's why when you see a game like Neva, you have to look at it two ways. On one hand, you look at the gorgeous visuals, stunning color palettes, and fluid animations. On the other, you judge the systems like the platforming and the combat. Neva seems to have a bit of both, and with the developers behind Gris at the helm, there's reason to believe this game will be incredible. The game puts you in control of a young woman who forms a bond with a magnificent wolf. Throughout the minute-and-a-half long trailer, you see bits and pieces of their journey unfold. It's one part story, another part exploration, and it's all wrapped in this gorgeous visual package, so if that's your type of game, then Neva is a no-brainer. From a gameplay perspective, we see elements of traditional platforming, problem-solving, puzzles, and even some light combat, so I don't think this is all story and no substance, but but I'm certain whatever Neva ends up being, it'll be an immersive experience to remember for the ages. I stand by the statement that indie games are some of the most wild, completely out there games that often spawn new genres or start a brand new trend within the gaming landscape. This next title, called Cuff Bust, might just be that next wildly popular viral indie hit. The concept is surprisingly simple. A prison security has been breached and all the cell doors are now open. You and your fellow jailians, hilarious name by the way, need to find a way out before backup arrives. Team up with random players or friends in large 20-player lobbies. Utilize realistic proximity chat and communicate with your fellow escapees to break through obstacles, disable power generators, keep track of guards, and disable prison defenses, all in an attempt to help as many of you escape unscathed through the hundreds of unique potential escape plans. It's a hilarious concept that I'm sure will blanket YouTube and Twitch to the levels of Among Us, and honestly, we're here for that. Oh, and did I mention it's also being made by a single developer? Gotta love happy development stories like this, so keep an eye out for Cuff Bust sometime in 2025. We have been patiently waiting for the release of Hyper Light Breaker. The game is being developed by Heart Machine, the creator of Hyper Light Drifter. That was a well-received 2D game, but much like Hapu Games and Risk of Rain 2, the team is stepping into 3D space for a new adventure. Hyper Light Breaker is an extraction roguelite, which is an interesting concept. You'll enter a vast open world, and your ultimate goal is to defeat the Abyss King. To do that, however, you'll need to clear out a variety of bosses that are only accessible after you do a series of tasks. At any point in time, you can extract, saving your upgrades and resources and using them to make yourself stronger for that next run. The concept itself is one I'm familiar with, being a huge fan of roguelikes, but it's the open world aspect of the game that I'm really intrigued by. There's definitely an element of farming that you'll have to embrace within the game, but based on early reports, the team has absolutely nailed the gameplay. Hyper Light Breaker was supposed to release back in 2023, and with confirmation that some folks are going hands-on at Summer Game Fest, my gut tells me we'll be seeing this one sooner rather than later. A year ago, we got the announcement trailer for Phantom Blade Zero, and immediately, the public at large wanted more. Fast forward to this year's Summer Game Fest, and we finally got a massive gameplay trailer, and while we still don't know much, we do know that it's a fast-paced action RPG, but how exactly that combat plays out is still anyone's guess. Is it a Souls-like? Is it like Sekiro? Or is it more Flash with very basic substance? Nobody really knows, but what we do know is that the game's action was done by Kenji Tanigaki, the choreographer of Rurouni Kenshi films, as well as Donnie Yen's right hand for almost 20 years. That means the action here should be great. We also know Phantom Blade Zero is set in what is called the Phantom World, a shared universe that consists of the developers' other games. You play as Soul, an assassin who serves the organization known as the Order until being framed for the murder of the Patriarch, ultimately mortally wounded in a manhunt. You're resurrected by a mystic healer with a cure that only lasts for 66 days, and that's how long you have to find the true killer. The developers have said they want it to be a challenging game, and with a demo circulating this summer at various upcoming events, it won't be long till media impressions are out there for everyone to dig into and really make sense of what we have coming with Phantom Blade Zero. Summer Game Fest should have a rule that none of the trailers revealed can be CGI only, because not only are they dealing with competition from other main stage shows stealing the reveals of those massive titles, but cinematics alone, while impressive, just don't outright convince gamers to play games. We saw 3 cinematics that I really enjoyed, but I repeat, where is the gameplay? We saw awesome looking trailers for Black Myth Wukong, Dune Awakening, and Star Wars Outlaws, but none of the 3 featured actually featured gameplay. Now, to be fair, Ubisoft Forward is happening on June 10th, and that's what this trailer was hyping up, so at least we saw a few new clips, including this shot of Lando, which all but confirms his presence in the game. I expect a massive gameplay showcase during the Ubisoft Forward event because the release date for Outlaws is right around the corner. As far as Black Myth Wukong is concerned, while I have no excuses for this team, it's a Chinese developer's first game, and maybe they're just not keyed in on an American audience, or just the best way to market their game. That could be true, because we have seen a number of other cinematics for the game over the past few years. What the people want is a gameplay overview, some idea of the systems that power the game, and quite honestly, how this Souls-like will stack up against the heavy hitters within the genre. Then there's, of course, Dune Awakening, one of our most anticipated upcoming games. Look, we knew we weren't getting much here, and that's because Funcom is running their own Dune Direct series, where they can release as much or as little content about the game as they want, whenever they want. That's just what happens when you're a big company, and while seeing a bit more about the story of the game on the main stage was cool, it's clear the team is saving the good stuff for their upcoming Dune Direct. Like I said, it was great to see 3 games we are very excited to check out on the main stage, and they're certainly worth keeping an eye on, but ultimately, cinematics tell us very little about the gameplay experience, which is why they all end up towards the bottom of our list. So there you have it, the main stage reveals for Summer Game Fest that we think are worth keeping an eye on. Some of the games on the list come out in just a few weeks, while others still don't have a release date. Truthfully, I thought the event was okay. I know we're going to see some massive reveals and game showcases at the Ubisoft and Microsoft events, and I'm alright with smaller games getting part of that main stage show. Does it have the same star power as it used to? No, but there's still some pretty awesome games worth talking about. Friends, if you like our videos like this and you want more of them in your feed in the future, you already know what to do. Hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing. We'll have more breakdowns coming next week after the other main stage shows, so keep it right here and never miss a thing. My name is Codiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.